We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
Lots clear. 7, go ahead.
I'll tell you at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
An object which is at the same place all the time but appears to be tumbling. Well, we've had it ever since yesterday. It just seems to be tagging along with us.
But 3 days and 200,000 miles into the flight, Mission Control did miss the significance of a cryptic message from the astronauts.
Do you have any idea where the influence is with respect to us? Semi.
The crew required information on the current position of the S-4B, the final stage of the rocket which had been jettisoned away 2 days earlier. This short message hid an extraordinary turn of events. Apollo 11 wasn't alone in space.
There was something out there that was close enough to be observed, and what could it be?
Traveling alongside Apollo 11 was a mysterious object, like this one filmed on a later mission. If the object wasn't part of Apollo's rocket, it could be only one thing: a UFO.
Mike decided he thought he could see it in the telescope, and he was able to do that. And when it was in one position, that it had a series of ellipses. But when you made it real sharp, it was sort of L-shaped. That didn't tell us very much.
Okay. Okay, verify it's our C plus D badge. What are those things going over? What is that, Jack? Hey, something just get here!
This video was entirely about photo manipulation, especially photo manipulation by NASA on the Apollo mission images. Here we go. First image is Apollo 11, and here we see the moonscape. This is the moon lander flag, and a perfectly black sky, black horizon. But is it black? Well, no, initially it was not black, but they made it black because there was something which we were not supposed to see, so they edited stuff out and edited stuff in. As you can see here, to be exact, when you look at ELC images, you see that this part, and this part belong to each other, and that the rest is a composite. This is the famous pyramid. You have seen this image a lot of lately on the internet, or you saw this one with better contrast, this one, or even this one. But you have never seen the pyramid in better detail. So I will show you now the pyramid with AMS software, which is auto multi-layer segmentation software. It sort of makes slices of the contrast and then creates a new image of it. So then we get a better detail. This is the first one, layer 2. We can already see that there is a flat roof. Could be a bunker, could be a building of some kind. This could be a staircase, if you look at the shape. This could be a table, there is something square on it. You can see stars, which is very strange because when this would be a solid building, you would not be able to see stars, right? Well, not quite, because there is the theory by Mike Barra that there are crystal buildings or glass buildings on the moon. This is the third layer, and now we see already different shapes, different contours. And the staircase already becomes very visible. The fourth layer, the fifth layer. We see the rooftop. We see something for a vertical here. This is a perfect shape for a building. Something square with something in it. A black object lying on top. And as you see inside the object, there is something very small in it, which is a different pixelization. So very interesting. And of course, the staircase. See, this is not just a hill. There's more to it, a lot more to it than we were supposed to know. Okay, next image, AS1582-11217A. This is the end of the film roll, and because of that, they put sticky tape on it, and NASA says that it was damaged. But is that true? In my opinion, it is not, because when we look at this with AMS, we see this. We see that there is something underneath the image. There is something underneath the sticky tape. Different contrast layers. You see contours here. There is an object here. There's definitely something which is now hidden by the sticky tape. There's also an object here. Something floating here. And by the way, you cannot do this with normal contrast layer software. You need special software to do this. And this kind of software is used in microbiology and in science. So it's not readily available in a shop. You cannot buy it. Or you have to have a very big wallet. The next one is the Blue Man. And why is it called the Blue Man? Well, there was a blue man right here. It is now been gone. It's now gone. NASA edited it out. Because this is the original picture from 10 years ago. Here we see it. The Blue Man. And there's also an object here. See? The object. both are missing from the new picture that's uploaded. When we look at the blue man in different contrast layers and filters, we see this. Now, isn't that interesting? What are we looking at? I don't know. And this is the best one. I recently found it, and just like to ask you, where do you think is the manipulation? It's right here, the visor. I'll show you why. We see in the middle of the visor this little white man, which appears to be the other astronaut which takes the picture. No, it's not, because when we zoom in, then we see that the astronaut is not holding a camera or any other thing, and there is something strange with the shadow. The shadow is not exactly behind the object, and the object is not round, the object is square. Or, in other words, this is a picture inside a picture. They copied a square picture inside a picture. And when we enhance it, it even becomes better visible. See? So whatever they took the photo of, it's not the astronaut. And the astronaut is not visible in the visor. It's something else. What better evidence do you need? The three-pointed star. A spaceship. Not much detail yet. Some better focus. The image is still blurred, but in a minute I will show you the full image after enhancement. And I have to tell you that I'm not using any editing software. No Photoshop, no Paint or whatever. The software I use is used in the astronomy and biological world, and especially for microbiology. This is enhanced contrast. And here you can already see some details inside the object. Okay, I removed all reflections and all light, so only the object becomes visible. Now we see a structure. Okay, I did some edge enhancements and noise removal, fixed focus, blur, focusing, and then this is the result. You see a clear shape, three-legged object. It's clearly a machine or ship with a platform, legs. It's half opaque. Now we have some more details. Look at the legs. And as I said, I'm not using Photoshop or any editing software. This is purely enhanced with special software, the special design software. You can clearly see inside of the legs that there are structures. There are levels. And now I hear you thinking, haha, this is something he made himself. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is something I found. I only did the enhancements. And I will show you more in a few minutes. Looks like symbols on top of the platform. This is with enhanced focus. Okay, I did some perspective change because I like to show you in a minute what a 3D model looks like. And this is a 3D model, and you will see this later on in the video, because I like to compare this one with another where I found in the Apollo 17 mission. Okay, here we go. AS-17 134-20455, Apollo 17 mission, and the object is very faint, hardly visible. This is the thumbnail. Well, you can hardly see it, but here it is. See? There's the object. Well, it's not much yet, but wait. The objects can also be found on the Gateway to Astronaut Photography of Earth. And there it's a bit more visible. Not very clear though. And there's another website called the Apollo 17 Image Library. And there it is. AS-17 134-20455. So this is a much better image. And let's see what we find here. See, there's just a three-pointed star. Again, the three-pointed star. This is enhanced version. This is the 3D model. And this is the comparison between the object from the Apollo 11 and Apollo 17. Looks pretty much the same, does it? And here's one from the STS-115 mission. Also a vector object. Some would say it's a reflection. I'm not so sure if that's a reflection. Welcome to the Gateway to Astronaut Photography of Earth. This is an official NASA website which has some pretty interesting stuff on it, and I'll advise you to check it, because this is what I found. I'll show you a couple images which are, what I should say, revolutionary. The first image, 3096, shows a couple white dots. When you enhance these white dots, you see that they have a shape. So these are not artifacts, as NASA often tells us. This is really something interesting. When you do the enhancements, enhance contrast and colors, you see more appearing. This one is white, and this one is blue. When you do the enhancements, you see this. This is the white one. With enhanced details and edges, you see this. And this is the blue one. White, blue. Another image, 1303097, shows more objects. Here's one is orange. Here's one a couple blues. You see, it's a whole fleet. Orange, blues, more blues, and they all have the same shape. So this cannot be a coincidence. Here's the orange one. After enhancement, you get this. Blue, orange, blue, more of it. Here's a white one. Looks like a witch on a broomstick. Here's a blue one, white one. It's a whole fleet. Yeah, look, blue, white, and they all look the same. Artifacts? No way. White. Enhanced white. Blue. Enhanced blue. Exactly the same shape. Here's more of them. orange, and a couple blues. And look at the shape. They all look the same. Here. Blue and orange together. Here's the group. Here's the orange one. Here's the blue one. This is the Aurora Borealis, by the way. This has been shot by the Space Lab 3. And this is just over the polar light. Okay, here we go again. Orange. Blue. The blues and orange all together. Enhanced version. Here's the orange one. Here's the blue one. Orange. Blue. This is what I call the snake. See? There's the group again. They shape-shifted. And I think that the brown ones, white ones, and orange one are the leaders, and the rest are depths. I'm not quite sure if that's the truth, but that's what I think. So here you have the orange one and blue one all together. Here's the enhanced version. You see it's a big group. Here's the orange one. Enhanced. Oh, blue. Enhanced. Again. Orange. Blue. Now this is also interesting. This looks like a Piper. Another one. Orange, or is it white, and a blue one together. Enhanced. You get this. See? Here's one. Here's a very fade one. And here's another one. And here you see a couple more. So, here we go. The white one. You see the colors? These are not artifacts. No way. And the blue one. And look at the strange, well, objects within the blue one. The same thing you see in the white one. See? So what is it? Is it an unloved life form? Is it a UFO which can shapeshift? Here's a couple more of them. Here's the blue, orange, orange enhanced, blue enhanced, some skyscrapers. You see this? See them? It's incredible how many there are. It's incredible. And the most strange and incredible thing is that NASA has not removed them. Or they didn't see them. Did not pay attention to them. This one is very interesting. Blue and white. See the shape? Okay, watch this. Here's the white one. See? Spiral. Looks like an X. This is the enhanced version. See the shape? Again. Here's the blue one. Now this is interesting. This cannot be a coincidence. Here's more of them. Again, all with very distinct shapes. This looks like a triangle with something in it. When you do the enhancement, you see something lighting. Against for the blue. Here's the Aurora Borealis. Here are the UFOs. Again. Blue. Orange. Orange. blue, strange shapes all over the place. A whole fleet. White, white enhanced. Blue, blue enhanced. White, blue. Now, what to think about this one? What the heck is it? Here again. Looks like a couple of them. But after enhancement you see a lot more appear. And all again have the same shape. This one, 3144. Three one four five. This time I'll show you a short video about life on the moon. Not life as we know it, but energy life forms. Here is the object. It's found on AS12 466799 in the Apollo archives. It looks like a blue cloud with a pink dot in the middle. So let's zoom in. And here it is. It looks like a couple balls of light joined together in a triangle shape. Well, not much to see yet, but after proper enhancement, you get this. Now we clearly see structure inside the object. Still have no idea what we're dealing with. So let's go continue. Next picture, AS12 466829er. It's also an object well above moon surface, well above horizon. Looks the same as the previous object, but it's different. The shape is different. Colors are the same though. And this is the object after enhancement. But it gets much better. AS12 466840. Well, to see this you don't even have to zoom in, but let's do it. Here we go. Very strange objects. A string of balls of light reflecting in all different colors. Here we go. Well, little someone please tell me that these are artifacts, or reflections, or stars, or problems with the camera shutter. AS12 466842. Object with a fishbone structure. There we go. You clearly see the fishbone. And on top also a spiral shape. It looks as if it is transmitting blue light. Okay, this is with extremely high contrast and gamma. And then you see this. See on top the spiral shape? Zoomed in. Okay, next one. It is a white ball with a red and green flame attached. And then we zoom in. You see this. Better version. You see this shape here. And also this one. Oval. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the best one. This little dot here appears to be 3 balls of light, triangle shape. But we have seen this before, right? Let's see. Here it is. Perfectly triangle shape, 3 balls of light, orange colored. And this is the enhanced version. Now, where have we seen this before? That was in Skylab 3, ladies and gentlemen. Skylab 3. You know, the UFO fleet above the Polaris, above the polar light. Here we go. And there it is. 3 balls of light, orange colored, triangle shape. And here's the comparison. Apollo 12 and Skylab 3. The things that you will see in this video are not cosmic rays. They look like cosmic rays, as people explain, but they cannot be cosmic rays. Why? It's not yet possible to build image-forming objects for cosmic rays. We do not have the technique yet. The technology is not available. What I will show you in this video are colored streaks, and I made the still frames from the International Space Station, Mission 24, of the 26th of July 2010, and I'll show you what I call energy beings, or plasma beings. There is life in space, and we're now going to take a look at it, a closer look. Here is the International Space Station, Soyuz, and here we have an object. Well, it's a bit fuzzy now, it's a bit hazy, and you see that it's white. So this is space, and this is a white object. Okay, here we go. Then we go through the next frame, and we see that it becomes longer. Well, that's strange. And then in the third frame, it becomes shorter again. Let's go to the front. First frame, second frame, third frame. So you see it appears and then it slowly disappears. It's moving. Okay, here is the same object again with sharpening. Let's take a look. And here you see already that it is a corkscrew, well, you call it skeleton. And the next step, we see this, and then third step, and then we see this. So it becomes longer, and it goes. These are the color enhancements, and you see that on top it is pink, then in the middle it's green, and then at the end it becomes darker, and it becomes purple. This is the second frame, and now we see a corkscrew object, an energy being. And this is the third frame. See, nice and colorful. And these are the original colors. I haven't done anything about the colors. The only thing I did was that I multiplied colors, but these are the colors. And this is an interesting capture. This is from NASA themselves. See, here it is again. And now we see inside what appears to be a skeleton or a frame. Here's the International Space Station again with the Russian capsule on it, and we have the anomaly here, or the UFO, the being. Let's zoom in. can already see that it's a corkscrew object. It becomes longer and it disappears. Okay, from the start. First frame, second frame, third frame. It is too slow for a cosmic ray. Cosmic rays can only be seen in a split second and not in 3 frames. That's simply impossible. So here we have the corkscrew again. See, the sharpening. It's not just a white line, it has a real shape. See? Okay, here we go again. There it is, the corkscrew. Better version. This is also an interesting one. That looks like an arrow, International Space Station. And here we have the arrow with sharpening, deblurring, and colors. Beautiful colors. And as you can see, the top is pink or purple, and then becomes yellow and green, and at the end it becomes purple again. I have no idea why these colors are that way, but it has something to do with the being itself. So then of course we have other objects, other UFO, and we have green ones, blue ones, red ones, and here's a green one with a conical shape and something white in the middle, which I call a skeleton, and there's also a white thing I will show you. So here's the International Space Station again, and notice that every time that these objects appear, it is dark, complete darkness. You will not see them when it is light. When the International Space Station is inside daylight or inside sunlight, you will not see them. You can only see them at night or in darkness. Here we have the object again. Nice and green. Purple below. This is a sharper image. See? No. This is a nice one. Beautiful colors. And this is a very interesting one. I flipped it a bit so it fits the screen. And you see beautiful colors. Now, it doesn't look like a cosmic ray or cosmic particle to me. So here we have the white one I was talking about, and you see that it has a reddish head or a pink head, and also skeleton structure. When I remove here all the reflections and unwanted light, and then we see a clear shape. Some of you would also call it rods, as we see on Earth. And here we have a better view and see clear structure. And these could be fins, like the rods on Earth. And there are scientists, there are people who think that the deep space is in fact an ocean of life. And like the deep sea fish, they communicate, prey and predator, and they communicate with each other by a form of light. So we only see these objects in total darkness. Maybe this is their way to communicate. And here we have a white object, better sharpening and deblurring. Here it is again. And then we see that it is a purple head, green white skeleton, and at the end it becomes purple again, like the rainbow. Yeah. Nice image. Very detailed. But it comes better, much better. Okay, this is flipped again, just to show you the colors. Full screen. And you can all do this by yourself. Just go to the NASA TV channel, record their space missions, and whenever you see these flashes of light, go through the from step by step through the frames, increase the frames, enlarge them, and do your stuff with your editors, and you will see them. It's no rocket science. Everyone can do it. Here's a green one, as you can see. Okay, this is not so interesting. Okay, here we see the skeleton. And these are artifacts, by the way, created by the software. But you see that where the object is, you don't see these artifacts. This is better now. Much better. More details already visible. You can look right through them. And this looks like an exhaust. It's totally different from the rest, and it looks like an exhaust. And maybe that's what it is, because I will show you some very interesting stuff later in the video. This is much better. I removed all the unwanted colors and unwanted light. Okay. Then we have green objects with oval shape, front and sideways. This one. And blue ones. And as you can see, the blue one looks like a fish or an eel, skeleton of an eel. The blue one reminds me also of a deep sea fish. See? Nice, colorful. Another one. And here's one. And when you remove all these unwanted reflections, then you see the real details and the real beauty of these objects. And to achieve this, to really good see the contrast, I used a program called Lucis Pro. And Lucis is used in bioscience. Then we have blue corkscrew things, also with a skeleton structure. Again, you see the International Space Station. And here's the skeleton. And it really looks like a skeleton. Then we have strange white things with an orange light in the center. Well, this one was a difficult one because it was not very clear. But here it is, right in the center of the screen now. And with the right contrast enhancement, you see that it is light, orange light. Here's a zoomed in version. Now, watch this here below. It's hazy now, it's fuzzy, but because that's blurred for the motion. So when I deblur it and do something about the contrast, then it becomes clearer. Now we see something that appears to be something like a trunk. The trunk of an elephant. Or a mouth. Well, if we flip the image, then we see that there is symmetry, and it indeed looks like a trunk of an elephant. Something here could be a tail, and something here which could be the center of the object. So here we do some sharpening, and there we see a very strange structure, which appears looks like a trunk. I'm not saying that it is a trunk, looks like a trunk. Then we have red corkscrew things. And the thing about this type of UFO is that you can actually see in the colors, in the red colors, in which way it's moving, like a flag. So this one would be moving from left to right. See? There's more flames on the left side than on the right, and it appears to be flying from left to right. It's better now. And you see again the skeleton structure, spiral shape. Then reads red things with a skeleton structure. Again. Well, this one looks like a rod, fins here, and maybe here and here. And some of these objects have openings on the side, so they can leap sideways. Here we have an object again, and there we see flames or flags at the left, so it should be moving from left to right. See? Here is a close-up. And here's another one, which appears to be moving from right to left. And it looks like bursts, these like flames coming from the object. There's another one, moving from top right to bottom left. And here's another one, moving from right to left. See? Flames. Looks like a candy bar. Candy stick. And here the flames. Which I couldn't get any sharper, by the way, which is very unfortunate. And here the reflections are removed, and here you see that it is white and pink. And the strange thing is, here it is pink, 2 white, 1 pink, 2 white, 1 pink. So there is also structure in there. There's another one. Better now, flipped. Then we have red fish-like things. There's one. Looks like a fish. See? There's a skeleton structure. Okay. Better one. And there's another one. Zoomed in. Okay, look here. Very beautiful colors, clear structure inside, like a skeleton. And also look at the nose on the right. There's another one. And they are with thousands, with millions. But not every object was as clear as these, so I had to make a selection. Blue fish-like things, also with a skeleton structure. Now, here we come in the region where they really look like fish. And also notice here the back. because you're going to see this more than once in various shapes, but all with the same structure at the end. So this must mean something. Here we have the object again. And the end also almost looks like an engine now. Like something mechanical. Here it is. And I know what you're thinking now. This is science fiction. Well, it's not science fiction. First I thought that this cannot be. When I saw it for the first time, I simply could not believe it. I told myself that I was fooling myself, and then I discovered that all these objects have the same structure. And this cannot be coincidence. So, by changing the position of a part, tail fin or rudder, at the back of the object must be capable of altering direction. As we already saw with these spiral-shaped objects and these flames. And my theory is that they ignite plasma, and that we see the burst of light coming from the object. And that's the only way we can see them. Every time they burst this plasma, then we see, or ignite the plasma, then we see it. Otherwise we cannot see it. And they also can go around a corner, as we can see here. And look again at the tail. Very strange structures. Here's another one. This looks like a fish with an open mouth, or an eel. Let's see. Well, it looks like one. The head and the tail. The head and the tail. These dark blue objects you see here and underneath and above the object are the artifacts created by the software. What the blue things that is surrounding the skeleton are not. It's part of the object. Okay. And then, of course, in fortunate cases, then I could literally see inside. Like here. This small object. I enlarged it with the best available algorithms, best available software. I removed unwanted light and reflections. And then it came up with this. See? It's beautiful. It's symmetric. It's beautiful. It looks like a machine. Looks like something mechanical. It would be very coincident if these on the left, for example, when you see these two dots and the symmetry in the head. I mean, that would be a chance of 0.00000.1%, or even worse. And you see symmetry in the middle as well, and at the tail. This is the best one. Okay. At first, you see a blue streak, a flash of light. And then with Lucis Pro enhancement software, I was able to make this visible, which also looks like a fish, but it's different from the rest. And I think that I caught it exactly in the right moment. Because when we do the enhancements, Then we see that this could be fuselets. This could be a spark. Then we see absorbers at the end, and we see combustion chambers or pressure chambers. Why I'm saying this? Well, let's have a look. First, let's remove the blur, and then let's see what happens. Why I am saying pressure chambers and combustion chambers? Well, I think these objects, these UFO, use pulse detonation propulsion, and they must be using some kind of a plasma fuel. So let's see. Okay, here's a better version. I did something about the colors. I enhanced the colors and removed all reflections, and then we see something very strange happening. Here we see something which looks like an igniter. Then we see a spark, a blue spark, which goes through the object, through the skeleton, into a chamber, and then it increases power or pressure, and at the end the pressure is the highest, and you can see that it is the area becomes bigger, and here we have something that looks like an absorber. So what's happening is that extremely hot gas or plasma could be ejected to what we call a fuselet, and when the plasma is ignited, we see a flash. But the thing is that we can see the flash and we can look inside the object. So this detonation, what I call a detonation, must be taking place inside a force field. Otherwise, we cannot see it. And the shockwave from the force field or combustion chamber is directed to the back of the object, which we can see. Here we see a spark going through the object, through some pressure chambers, combustion chambers, and then we have a absorption here. Okay, let's go. There it is, zoomed in. There we see that the top is blue, and here is a bit of reddish. Then we see a spark coming from it. The spark moves through the object, goes through the center, goes through via these chambers. See, it goes through the chambers, and here we have a pressure chamber, the highest pressure. It is released, and then the absorbers push it away. There's even a better version now. And this is the best one. Here we see the fuselets. Here see we an igniter, the spark. You see the spark going through the object in full detail into the chambers. And here we have the absorber. Okay. If you think that this is too much for you already, you better stop the video. Because I will show you something which I still not can believe, but I will show you some details of the inner structure and the propulsion system. Okay, here we have the main object, and these are the artifacts surrounding the object. Okay, and this is the result of Elusa's professional scientific image processing software. Here we go. We see inside the object, we see different chambers, and we see in the end the absorbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 absorbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chambers. And this is the part where you can see the spark coming from. I'm not sure what it is. I call it an inlet, but I have no idea what why they would have an inlet. This is much darker than the rest. So this could be fuel or plasma or whatever. And well, let's see. Let's take a closer look. See the color artifacts, and this is the objective thing. Okay, I'll cut it out. Did some more enhancements with Elusa Pro, which gives us better results now. We can now clearly see inside the object. We see the different chambers. We see channels, we see everything. And when I saw this for the first time, I could not believe my eyes. I mean, this could not be true. Okay, here's some explanation about what you're looking at. The inlet. This could be a frontal fin. We look from the side, so I have no idea if this is a fin or not. This could be fuel. The purple lines could be fuel. This is the part where the spark is produced, the igniter, fuselage. These must be combustion chambers, in my view. Then we have a part where they normally could add some extra fuel or secondary fuel. Then we have combustion chambers again, pressure, and there we have pressurization chambers right here, and the shock absorbers here, and at the end we have an outlet, and perhaps even a tail fin. So this is my theory about what they look like. Okay, here's a close-up. Here we see the fin, we see an inlet, we see a fuel container, could be a fuel container. We see something here as well. We see the part where the spark is produced. This is the spark you saw in the first pictures. And then we go through some contrast levels, and then we see that there is something inside the blue thing. Little white balls, something which is different from, it has a different color. Okay. And look at the details. It looks like a blueprint. It's not. It's just a frame from a video. A video from NASA. A live transmission. Here we see the pressurization chambers, and here we see these, what I call absorbers, shock wave absorbers. Alan B. Shepard, Apollo 14 commander, standing next to the US flag. High resolution image. Astronaut, flag, everything looks perfectly normal. There's nothing in the sky, it's perfectly black, not even a star. So what's wrong with the picture? When we look with error level analysis, we see two objects appearing. One here and one here. This object seems to be floating over the moon's surface, high in the sky, and this one is standing on the surface, could be some kind of a cross. Okay, let's take a closer look at this one. Here we go. See? Someone clearly tried to remove everything from the object, but error level analysis will find the manipulation, despite how well you try it. And this is what is left after the editing. And then we have this strange cross here. AS17-136-20864. Okay, let's have a look. When we look at the NASA photo index, we see that both pictures are blank, according to NASA. Is that true? No, it's not. Here it is, the picture. We'll see a bright spot, and we see all kinds of scratches and all kind of dust on the lens or on the picture, on the negative. Nothing interesting. When we look at this picture with AMS software, we see nothing unusual. See? It's perfectly normal picture. There has been no manipulations here. Okay, now let's take a look. First we flip it, because NASA flipped it. Let's take a look at the other one, 20865, which also should be blank, right? So this is the picture. NASA flipped it, of course. So I reflipped it. And can you see any hidden objects here? No? Okay, watch this area. When we look in high contrast levels, we see a black spot appearing. We see something else. We see this black spot, and we see something white here, white speck, and we see a bright area here. Okay, pay attention to these areas. When we look at this same picture with AMSD, and a later version of AMS, we see an object appearing, a ball. See the S here, right in the middle now, the S in the right in the middle, that's the white speck we see with balanced contrast and gamma levels. But the software is not capable of showing the entire object. AMSD can. And there's also something here. And is this really a bright spot, or is it something else? See? Okay, when we look at the same object with a 3D module, the 3D creation, we see a profile. We see something here. See? This is not just an artifact, this is more just than an artifact. This is an object. AS17 137 20925. Where it's right in the middle now. It's a plant well, it's an object. I don't know if it is a plant or a life form, but it's in the middle of the rock. So zoom in and adjust colors, and then we see this. It's strange, and it's vector shaped. See? Same object, but a different picture from another website. Here's picture AS17 137 20953. Same rock. This is the reference point. And as you can see, it's empty. So whatever was there, it's gone. Apollo missions and fireballs. And the first photo I'd like to show you is the photo taken by Apollo 7, AS7051613. And this is the Arabian Sea, and this is the coast of Iran. And here we see a little speck near an island. So if we increase that, then we see that it is a fireball. And some would say it's a comet. Well, it's not, and I'll show you why. Next image. This is the enlargement. And here we see the fireball. So let's do something about the contrast and colors. And we see that it has a tail. And we see that the front is a ball of light. And now we do something about the enhancements, some sharpening. Okay, here we flip it, rotating 90 degrees to the right. See? Here we increase colors. And now we see something appearing on the ball. It's not a ball. It's like oval. And there are strange contours visible inside. So let's see. Okay. First, we're going to do something about the contrast lines. As you know that when you photograph something, then some parts are more light or darker than the others. So if we use the right kind of software, we see these lines. And then when we remove colors, then we actually see how these lines run. And then we reverse the colors. And then we create depth. And now we see the fireball in its true glory. And as you can see, it's symmetric. There is symmetry. And here's a 3D, three-dimensional. Okay, and if you think this is interesting already, well, watch this. This is another picture also taken by the Apollo 7, and it's AS078191. And the object is right here. See? Another fireball. And there's another one. AS70781923. Here it is. Yeah, it's going upwards from Earth. It's not a comet. It's an object going up. Could be a plasma ball or maybe a craft. We don't know. So let's see what it is. Here we will do an enlargement. Increase size a bit. We see the same tail and we see a ball of light. See, there's also something on this ball. Some strange contours. More increased. And we see that it's not white, but that it is orange near the corners. There's some green, there's some yellow, there's some blue. So let's see. Here it is with better contrast. This is another picture. It's not the same picture. That's another picture. Fortunately, NASA has many databases to choose from, so and this is better than the rest. See, the tail is green. Now we see that on top of the ball it's orange, and there's some pink in it and some blue. Okay. It's even better visible. It's not created by the software. These are the actual colors of the object. Okay. Here's another one. AS07611700. So this is all taken by Apollo 7 during the Apollo 7 mission. And here's a ball of light. See, just tries to escape, I think, Earth's gravity. Going into space. Okay, here we zoom in. So now something strange happens. I'm not sure if this is caused by the software I'm using, but a shadow is created underneath the object. See? Strange. Okay, now we zoom in on the object. Yeah, we see some spots now appearing. And here we remove all the reflections, all the unwanted light, and we see that the tail is spiral shape, and we see all kinds of colors on the ball. And these are not artifacts. These actually are the colors on this ball of light. This what some people would call comet. Well, if we enhance the colors correctly, then we see that it's spiral shape and there is strange shapes on the ball. Remove unwanted colors and unwanted light. And now we increase the colors and we see indeed that it is pink at the borders. So what is it? I don't know. Here's another one. But this is not one from Earth. This is taken during the Apollo 11 mission on the moon. It looks like a wheel, or like a donut with blue flame on top. And that it is a wheel we can see now, because when we look at it, here it is. But it's not exactly a wheel. See? In this side, in this donut, there is a triangle. It's a triangle shape. It's not round, it's a triangle. Strange blue light. This is the moon surface. Here's the object with the blue flame. See? It's not on Earth. It's on the moon. But it's not the only one. There's another one. And found on Apollo 12. But not one heading downwards to the moon surface. No, this one is going up from a crater. AS12476890. Just Google for these file names and you will find it, no problem. There it is. And you see it's a ball of light. Another one. High resolution. Here it is. See, there is a ball inside the ball of light. And it's going up. From the moon surface, straight going up. Another one. See, there it is. Our little UFO. And here's an enhancement. And you see that it is not round, but it is, well, it's oval shaped. I would say oval shaped with a blue flame underneath. AS10 324822. This is the famous castle picture. Apollo 10 frame 4822. And this is taken from Mr. Hoagland's book. And as you can see here, this is the famous castle, 9 miles above the moon. Okay, next picture. This is the picture we've seen on the internet, the castle. It's in color. I have no idea where he found it or where he took it from. But I did my own analysis on this picture. And you see that it is in color. And what you see here are the artifacts. And you see that this is totally different from the artifacts. There is structure inside. And this is with denoising. So this is Mr. Hoagland's castle. Okay, Apollo 10. This is from the photo index, Apollo 10 photo index. And we see here 4822, Triesnecker area. And the photo quality is good. This is the official NASA image, which you can download from NASA. So when we increase contrast and gamma, we see absolutely nothing. The famous castle is not visible here. In fact, everything has been blanked. Everything is totally black. Well, this is an image I found some 10 years ago on the internet, and not on the NASA site. And this is what I see. There. Not the castle here, but something floating here. What is it? When we reduce the reflections and we do something about the contrast and also pixel level contrast enhancement, we see a clear object appearing. But not just one object, two objects. There's one here as well. Let's zoom in. Okay, what we see now is two cigar-like objects next to each other and one smaller object here. Okay, keep this in mind. We have an object A and we have an object B. A mothership and a companion. This is with denoising. He is even better visible. And watch the shape. Okay, remember the shape. AS10 324855. Same film roll. Well, it's totally black, right? No, it's not, because there's something here. Our human eye cannot see it, but we can make it visible. There, next to the arrow. Let's increase contrast. And let's zoom in. Now we see what appears to be a JPEG artifact. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is not an artifact. Because when we enhance more and we do deblurring and refocus, we see that there is structure. We see that it looks like a skyscraper. And let's go further. More focus, more details, enhanced edges, even more. Okay, now we remove all the noise. And finally, we combine all these images, stack it, and make a 3D image of it. Right here. And now we see that it indeed is a skyscraper building. We see a very strange disk object on top. We see stories here. And this is several miles high. This is not a JPEG artifact. AS8 132345, Apollo 8. Well, nothing to see here, right? Wrong again, because there's something here in the darkness. Let's do some clipping, some tail clipping, and then an object appears. There's not much shape yet, but let's zoom in. Now we see something like two cigars next to each other and a smaller object. Well, what a coincidence. We zoom in further. Now we see that these are two objects, like cigar-like objects, and a smaller object, A and B, companion. When we rotate the image for 90 degrees, then we see indeed two cigar-shaped objects. Okay, zoom contrast, some sharpening. And these are not artifacts. These are not artifacts. This is not dust. These are not scratches. Would be very much coincidence if Apollo 10 and Apollo 8 would have the same scratches and the same dust. AS8 172826. Again, a little dot in the far distance. Let's zoom in. This is supposed to be a tile or a piece of the capsule, of the command module, according to NASA. Well, when we zoom in, it doesn't look like a tile to me. This is something else. Could this be our companion? Let's see. AS11 385556. Okay, darkness again, the moon, and nothing to see here. Well, there's an object right here, next to the arrow. Now we increase contrast, and here it is already visible. There it is. Now we zoom in, and we see what appears to be a cigar or a rocket-shaped object, and there's something here on top. Even better visible now, and you see that it's reflecting light, so it could be metal. This is not scratches, this is not dust. These are not JPEG artifacts. Here's the object again. Rocket shape or V shape, depending on the perspective you're looking at it, and a smaller object next to it. A companion. AS17 13721023. Apollo 17. Nothing here. And this is a TIFF file, by the way. This is not a JPEG file, this is a TIFF file. Because I will show the debunkers that TIFF files also have these anomalies, and not just JPEG files. So this is the JPEG file, and again, nothing to see. Okay, watch the positions of the hills, A, B, and C. Next image is AS17 13721024. This is a TIFF file I download from the internet, from www.archive.org. Again, the hills, positions of the hills, and watch the red arrow. There is a little speck, right? It's not a speck. It's our little friend, because when we enhance contrast and we zoom in, then we see a strange object here and a companion. Now the companion looks bigger, much bigger than the other ones, but that could also be perspective. We're not sure how close the little object is and how far away the main object is. So when we denoise it, we again see something that resembles our castle, the castle from Mr. Hoagland. Let's zoom in. Companion. And what could be the mothership? See? Tower. Connection. Towers. So, what is it? I don't know. But it really is strange. So, Have we proven that this is indeed the castle? No, we have not proven that it is the castle, but we have found the object or objects on several Apollo missions. So there must be something overhead the moon. And it's not dust and it's not scratches. Something that is very strange. And in my opinion, this is not an artifact. Okay, here is again the Seaman crater region. And I'll look in the southern part of the crater. Do you see it? No? Okay, let's zoom in. And flip it. There, next to the arrow, it's a very tiny object, but it's brighter than its surroundings. Okay, there it is. And when we zoom in, then we see that there are two lines next to each other. The sun is coming from the northwest, in this case, and we see shadows behind it. We see shadows here, and we see that it is fully in the sunlight. So it must be higher than its surroundings, because it catches the sunlight completely. Okay, let's dim it a bit, do some about the contrast, and you see that it is totally different from its environment. So what is it? Well, I'll call it a machine or a crawler, a machine that moves over the moon's surface, but it could also be something else, of course. But I find it very intriguing. You can a bit sharpening now, and look at the reflections. You see light is coming from the northwest, scattered back, reflections, and on this side it's dark because it's in the shadows. In 1999, NASA released the Chandra X-ray Observatory, an X-ray satellite with Space Shuttle mission STS-93. And during this release, they had an observer, an unexpected visitor. I'll show you what I mean. I found these photos on the Gateway to Astronaut Photography of Earth. Roll number 706, frame numbers 35 till 50. Okay, enjoy the show. The Chandra X-ray satellite and the unknown object. It's not a star, and it cannot be a reflection in the windows of the space shuttle either, because both objects are lit by the sun. This is enhanced contrast. See the shape? It gets better. Frame number 36. We can now even see a bit of a disc shape. Enhanced. You can even see different compartments. Zoomed in. This cannot be a star. If this would be a star, that would be more visible. It looks like metallic. It's definitely reflecting sunlight, so it must be metallic. Well, what is it? And as you see, it also changes heading and direction. It's not a steady object. So it cannot be a comet either, because they would have gone in the same direction. I made a 3D model of it. Here's the object again. I'm not sure why the colors are different now. Could it be that the object turned to us? Or that we were looking at right into the engines? I don't know. This is also interesting. As I was watching the object, I noticed a couple other things on top. Green and blue. Looks like butterflies of some kind, and there's something hiding in the darkness. Something blue. Something blue below, and at the bottom something green. And these are not stars. These are not reflections. Enhanced. Looks like a butterfly. But I have absolutely no idea what we're dealing with. This is an adaptive equalization, and you see some strange beams coming out of the objects, but I have no idea what we're dealing with. This is the blue object. Enhanced, so we can see that there is something inside, something with structure. The other blue object looks like 3 balls in a line. The observer. Could this be space debris? No. Why not? Because this was photographed in an orbit way out of the satellite and other satellite orbits. So this is somewhere deeper in space than normal.